Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching my interviews here at the Louisiana Capitol in the Rotunda. With me right now is State Representative Pat Moore. Representative Moore, thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me.
Well, I always appreciate how hard you're working. You know, I always see that you're always talking with everybody about your bill, and you're always staying involved with not only here, but I hear how hard you work for your community, and I appreciate that.
Well, I just love that they gave me an opportunity to represent them. I love the work that we're doing, and when I come down here, I love working with my colleagues. We don't agree on everything,
Absolutely
but we get
not.
things done.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, and look, and some of that spirit of disagreement actually helps the process for the people. And you all are doing the battles that saves them from having to do the battles. Would that be a way to say it?
I think that's the best way to say it.
Well, I've got your legislation pulled up. I've got one of your bills, House Bill 56. That was one of those early bills.
Oh, yes.
You're an early starter here. Early childhood authorizes the Monroe City School Board to levy an ad valorem tax for the purpose of funding early childhood.
This is one of the important bills that I have 3 bills, but this is one of the most important one to me simply because of what it's going to do. We've looked at what New Orleans done, some of the other parishes as far as investing in their babies from birth to 3 years old. This bill will allow us locally, if the people agree that they want to invest, so the Monroe City School Board will be given authority to do this, to present it to the people, and to allow us to decide whether we want to invest in our children.
So you said there's a similar program in New Orleans?
Oh yes, New Orleans, it's really my model, and I think to a lot of the other parishes. They started investing like 2 years ago, the city putting monies in, and then last year they voted to tax themselves for 5 meals up to 20 years, which is going to each year generate $21 million for early child care.
This is amazing.
You can't beat that.
This is a great way to put money back into the schools to help the teachers in the schools and ultimately the children.
And I know we rely on federal and state, but sometimes local has to say that we're going to do our part. So I'm looking forward to presenting this bill to the people in the community. I believe because it's a good cause that they're going to say yes. We won't maybe generate 21 million annually, but I guarantee we will start and we'll do our part.
I want to shine the light on the fact that what you're doing is you're creating legislation that puts power back into the local governments and in the hands of the people in a bigger way than having the state or the federal government control it.
Correct.
Love it. Thank you very much for that one. HB 235 provides relative to the guaranteed issue of the Medicare supplement policies.
This is a good bill. It started off last year, and Representative Nelson, he authored the bill. We passed it, but in there it said in the insurance companies that we that reaches 65 years old could switch a company with the Medicare supplement, but it had to be with the same company. And what has happened is, and I believe it's just a misunderstanding, but we're going to correct it, it says when a company leaves, its affiliates can come in. But because we have that with the same company and not with the affiliated,
right,
then they could not allow this guaranteed issue rights, which means that when you switch, you don't have to go through that history process and lose your right as far as maybe an increase in your premium. So it's a very important bill that just clarify, and there are 6 states that do this, but only 2, Illinois and Louisiana, got that same company in the language, and this is going to extend it to say same company or your affiliate companies.
I like that. Mm-hmm. So I like how you recognize other states and saw what works and what could work better here. What happened to it last year that didn't get passed last year?
Oh, it did get passed, and it was Representative Nelson who got it passed. Right. But it was just that language.
I got you. So this is really truly knowing that Richard Nelson is of another party affiliation. This is really truly a bipartisan bill that you're putting here through this.
Yes, and he would have carried the bill, but you know we're limited to 5 bills, and the Commissioner of Insurance asked me to carry it. He was in agreement with it, so we're getting it done.
Bipartisanship is the way to go in this. So you got 494 is authorizes persons and organizations engaging in lawful, nonpartisan activities to remain within 600 feet of the entrance of a polling agent.
Well, we've had a lot of bills, but we've had a lot of bills, and it's I pulled that bill. The organization that asked me to carry it, I asked them to go back, make sure that the Secretary of State is on board with this, and we decided to pull that one.
Okay, no, and I like hearing when bills get pulled because they're not the right bill at the right time. They're not a good bill. It shows me that the representatives like yourself are being careful about what you pass.
Right. We needed some more work on it.
I like that. 587 provides relative to the Louisiana Community Healthcare Worker Workforce Board.
Well, this back in 2019, Senator Regina Barrow asked that a study be done to look at how we could expand this program, because you know in the medical industry it's just a lack of not only doctors, nurses, but other workers.
Right.
And so when the study was completed in 2020, they recommended that we continue to have a board and look at various things, and so that's what that bill is about, making sure that we do what that study committee recommended. So we're working with LDH.
I like that, because when I hear about the studies, you know, some people don't like the studies, but some people, like yourself, recognize that sometimes the study's needed, and this ties up some loose ends.
And when you do the study, you get the data, and you get all of that information. Sometimes studies just sit there, but this particular one, we're moving forward with it.
I like that. 103 commends the Wasserman High School Ladies Wildcats basketball team on the winning of the Louisiana High School Athletic Association. If you've got it in here, I want to make sure they get recognized there.
Congratulations, and I am a Wildcat, so I was glad that we were able to win the championship this year, girls basketball. Well, now that was one more, the HCR 90, which is what we are asking Congress, and this is a very good bill.
Oh, I didn't even see that one on there. You got me on that one. Good.
Yeah. But what this one does is that, you know, we're still trying to reduce the recidivism in the criminal justice.
Okay.
And so what this is going to do, we have over 3,000 nonviolent inmates sitting across our state in prisons.
Nonviolent.
And nonviolence. And they have high school, they have college, they have associate degrees sitting there. And what we're asking Congress is to allow us to do a pilot program for 3 years. My team and I've been working with the military. What it is, all of our military branches have not been able to reach their recruiting goals.
Okay.
They've tried doing different things, but we're asking them to allow us to get those that are sitting there, highly educated, cream of the crop, train them while they're incarcerated for so many months, and then allow them to go and really get trained and really swap out their time.
Or join the military.
Join the military, the Army in particular.
This is a great idea, Representative Moore.
Yes.
This is something you came up with?
Well, my team and we've been talking about it. What are we going to do? And when they get out, sometime they go back in. We have the highest recidivism. So we're doing and changing the process, but we got to do a little bit more. So my husband is a Marine, my son, Navy, another son in the served. So we know, and I know, how you can benefit. And it will change lives and generations from generation, just going and serving your country.
I love this idea, because if you've got people that are qualified, they've got degrees, associate degrees, they've served their time, they want to fix their lives, and the military.
And this is the thing, they're currently serving their time.
Right.
So they're currently sitting there with all of this education.
Yeah.
And I know they will, and they never
Basically, if they got a year, 2 years left, you're saying that they go in the military and serve that time in the military, that it'll qualify for time served.
Correct.
And then this is a good idea for the ones that qualify.
Yes. And we're going to go after the cream of the crop. We want the best.
Yeah.
But we will let them know the good and the bad and the ugly, You know, it's not easy to go in the military. You got training. You got to get that mindset too. But it's going to be a great opportunity.
This ties in with, I did an interview a while back, if I could hold you for another minute with this, or I interviewed somebody who she's an attorney.
Okay.
She's on my podcast playlist, Elizabeth Franklin Best, and she does and she goes for criminals that are non-violent offenders and finds a way to get their rights back so that they can get jobs when they get out. This to me is kind of the same kind of thing where if they're in prison, they get out of prison, they don't have a chance oftentimes, which is why it's easy for the recidivism rate to go back up, because they can't get another opportunity. And what you're doing is saying, hey, look, you don't have to get out and go look for an opportunity. We're going to put you, for those who want to join the military, we're going to put you in an opportunity right now and give you a chance to have a career making money where your bills are paid. It's a great transition.
Oh yes, and some of them can get a chance to go to other countries. Some will do their time and then perhaps want to advance that and continue to serve our country. But a lot of times they don't have that time when they're free. This is not on their minds.
Right.
But while you're sitting there, we want to give you an opportunity to consider a job profession that will help you and your generation from generation to generation.
Absolutely. Are there any other states doing this?
No, there's not any, and that's why we want
I love this. It's a unique program. I love this. Well, two other questions for you. Would you support legislation that would force the legislators to update their pictures on the Louisiana legislative site?
I will, because I need to update mine too.
Well, you always look fantastic, so you should get a new one every other week.
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe once every 3 years. I'll try.
And they're always debating on the floor, and I think that on the floor they could debate a chicken sandwich. But would the chicken sandwich could y'all make it the state sandwich? Or do you think that would be debated on what would be the sandwich for the state?
I would probably support it, but we got to have the majority, and I'm sure some others are thinking about different sandwiches. But chicken sandwich would probably be mine.
There's already somebody that said the muffalata. Somebody somebody said the oyster po' boy, the shrimp po' boy.
Sounds good to me.
And so any sandwich is a good one in Louisiana, right?
That's right, because we love eating.
That's right. Representative Moore, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I not only appreciate what you're doing, but I appreciate that last bill, because I'm going to tell you, that's something that I think that will help our communities.
I love it. And I'm hoping that Washington will see that this is a great opportunity, and let's do it.
So Washington has to do that because it's military.
Yes.
All right, I get it. Well, everybody else, keep your eyes on the bills and keep your eyes on the legislature, and keep watching my show, because you'll hear more interviews here coming up. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right. Thank you.